he was an in-one comedian, and he didn't have anybody on the act with him. His last venue was 46,000 people in a big ballpark, and he went from that. Somebody wrote this movie and thought he'd be very good. He started.
Yeah, it's his story.
He started his story. It was the beginning of his act. I was born a poor black child. This is my.
So a couple of things fascinated me about this movie. One is how Steve Martin is again. I think he had the #1 record in the country too with King Tut, and he comes up with this story. And he's packing in 50,000 people into theaters, and yet this movie got turned down. That's by a couple of studios.
Yes, absolutely. And it also got turned down, and then when we had a preview someplace where people didn't speak English. I don't know where. Really, I think it's in Florida. And the studio was wont to continue helping it, and they decided to have one more screening. I had a screening, went through the roof, and then from then on it was the #1.
So Steve Martin, as hot as he is, I'm curious, because he clearly made the right choice. What led Steve Martin to come to you, asking him to direct this movie?
Well,
you to direct this movie.
He's one of the smartest people I know. He liked some of the movies I had done. He knew, and by the way, he knew of me because he and my son had worked together on the Smothers Brothers show, so we knew of each other. And by the way, I say this with full knowledge of calling somebody a genius, that you may be overstating it, but a genius is this. Shakespeare would not be considered genius if he wrote just Hamlet or Romeo and Juliet. It's the quality of your work and the amount of your work. And he wrote 37 plays. Steve Martin has written and done so many things. And the word genius applies because not only is he a great comedian, he's a fantastic writer. His autobiography, Born Standing Up, is one of the best I've ever. I commend it to you. You will cry and laugh at that. And he's also the most knowledgeable man about art. He goes so far into the understanding of collection and art itself.
He's one of the leading art collectors in the country.
Yes.
He plays in a really serious bluegrass band.
Yes, he plays a banjo like
Oh yeah, he's great.
like it's a good instrument.
Like that's
For years and years he was maligned, and he said he learned to play his instrument because nobody wanted to hear it. He went inside his father's car, and that's where he learned to play inside the car. Nobody could hear it.
He's also, I believe he's in Mensa.
In what?
Mensa. He's got an IQ.
Oh, his IQ is really tremendous.
And he's written these too. His novels are fantastic. It's a little much.
No, they gave him a tremendous award, the 85.
Yeah,
and everybody came up and said the same thing. Genius.
Yeah, genius. That's right. And how was your? Well, I'm curious about the process a little bit because how does the movie work? It doesn't feel like it would be just a regular screenplay that you shoot. Like you got to work it out.
Well, when you have it was a good script. It was a really good script, and as a director, you take it over. And he had never worked with another actor, but boy, did he learn? Didn't even learn fast. Just knew how to do it as soon as it happened. But I never forget. And one of the lucky things is he and I would go to work every day in a car and drive to the set, and we always found something to add to the, what we were going to do that day. And one day, he said something to me in the car that was so funny. I said, we got to get that in. And we didn't have a set for it. I called and I said, don't break down that part of the set where there's a facade. I said, we're coming around the facade. We'll work. And this is the joke he came up with. Nathan Johnson. By the way, Nathan is a name given to the character by Mel Brooks.
Mel Brooks,
yeah. We said, we want a name for this guy. And Mel said, poor black guy. He says, you know, the African Americans sometimes use a name that exists, but they pronounce it different, like Irving became Irvin, or you know. And he said that his name might be Nathan, and they call him Nate. You know, a lot of literates. It's just very good. So we came with Nathan Johnson. Well, Nathan, this is the joke Steve came up with. I think we got to use it. He's going out into the world. He's a poor black boy. His father is very black, really black. And he's going out in the world. His father says, I don't know if you're ready to go out in the world. There's something you should know. And I want to teach you one. And he shows him something on the ground. It's some dog food. He says, what's that? And Steve looks, he says, I don't know what is that. He's that shit. Yes, that's dog shit. Okay. What is that? Shit? Yeah. And then he holds up a can of shoe polish. And he says, what's this? He says, this is Shinola. I don't know if you're ready to go out in the world, but let's just try it. What's that? And he thinks for a second, he says, shit? Right. What's this? Shinola. Son, you ready to go out? He came out with that joke on the way
You guys, another more evidence of how fortuitous the timing was. You choose this movie in 1979, in the middle of the gas crisis. So you guys had to carpool together.
Yes, yes.
Because it was so hard to get gas. And in the process of carpooling together every morning, each day, you came up with something for the movie.
Well, there were some jokes in that movie to this day. I remember them so fondly and how difficult they were to implement as jokes. The day he wants to keep some people who are buying gas at the gas station, works at the gas station, and they stole somebody's credit card. You can see with these rough-looking guys, his Mrs. Nussbaum. His name was Mrs. Nussbaum. And he knew there was something wrong. He calls the police, and he said this, and he doesn't want it to get away, so he hooks up the end of their car with a spigot of a church. He hooks it up so they can't get away. He's on the phone, and he realizes the guys are going to escape, and they pull away from the gas station, pulling a church. And when the church is pulled away, the shell of the church is people getting married inside. But he's saying on the phone, he says, yes, he says, if somebody is stealing the church from 36th Street, he says, it's a church, it's being pulled by a blue car. He says, any blue car pulling a church is what I'm talking about.